Carmen Navedo just asked me if I had enough coffee, and I said no. Good morning. Happy Sunday, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. Woo! My name is Faye, and it is truly an honor and a privilege to assist Reverend Juan this morning and our new associate ministers in the house. I'm not going to tell you anything more about her, but she's fabulous. And she has nice shoes, and you know that's all I need in life, right? All right. So welcome to Unity on the Bay. We're so glad you're here. Folks at home, hi, hello. Catch that kid running around. Yeah. He's good. Don't worry, all right? Before Reverend Juan comes on up here, I've got a couple of community highlights that I want to let you folks know about, all right? So for the last few years, we've been declaring one Sunday in August as Unity on the Bay Day, right? Yes, so this year it's Sunday, August 20th, 2023. So what's Unity on the Bay Day? Thank you for asking. It's a Sunday celebration with some extra glitter and glam, and you know that I love glitter and glam. Unity on the Bay also is all about glitter and glam. So we've got an incredible service next Sunday, and we also have a party afterwards, okay? Because Unity on the Bay, you know we love to party, right? So that you, our spiritual community, you can invite your friends, you can invite your family that maybe have never experienced Unity on the Bay. You know, I understand, because sometimes we want to keep all that love and energy for us. No. Got to give it away. We got to share our love and energy with those folks that we love. So we invite you to bring them August 20th. Mark your calendars, okay? Go to our website, unityonthebay.org, and RSVP right there so we can prepare enough food for everyone, okay? Last year we had karaoke, and some people that can sing, like Millie, sang. And some people that can't sing, like me, did. What we do this year, nobody knows. But it's going to be a great time, so put it on your calendar, right? All right. Okay, next. Oh, this is a really good workshop. So on Saturday, August 26th, you have a chance to meet someone very, very special, someone many of you have never met, but lives in your house. No, not your dog. No, not that freeloading cousin that won't get off your couch. No. We're talking about your inner child, all right? Your inner child, and most of the time it's making all of your life choices based on wounded past traumas. It acts out just like a child would, and most of us don't even realize it. In this workshop, you're going to be taken through the process of meeting your inner child from a certified transformational coach and inner child healing practitioner specializing in trauma work, personal transformation, and higher self-integration. You know her, you love her. You've seen Miss Erica Enriquez, the newest member of the platform team. She's going to be facilitating this workshop. Head on over to our website for all the details about this transformative workshop that you don't want to miss, unityonthebay.org. And with that, I welcome to the platform your reverend and mine, more mine, more yours, Reverend Juan del Hierro.
Hey. It was a very long hug at the first, come on.
I love you so much. I just do. I love you.
Thank you.
I
love you too?
Okay, sorry.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for being a part of Unity on the Bay. I am so grateful that we are connecting this morning. As Faye said, my name is Juan. I'm the senior minister of this amazing spiritual community, and one that really recognizes the power that each of us have to create heaven on earth, not only for ourselves, but for each other. So we come together on Sundays so that we can lean on the power of this community, so that we can lean on each other, and we can take everything that we are, truly are, out into the world. So if this is your first or second time at Unity, get ready, because you're in for a treat, right? Yes? And we'd love to just get to know you a little bit more and just support you in feeling more connected to our community. If this is your first or second time with Unity on the Bay, you can follow the prompts that are on the screen. Thank you to all those that are watching from home. Thank you for all of you that are new here in our sanctuary. And if you are here in person, you can go to the Welcome Center after the service to see John so that he can get you plugged in. Now, when we do come together, we remind ourselves that whether we are conscious of it or not, we are connected to the mission, vision, and the core values of this spiritual community. And I mean, come on, our vision is humanity inspired to its divinity. And that is the work of consciousness, and that truly is the work of awakening. Today, I'm going to invite us to speak our core values. And as you speak these core values, just know that, as I mentioned many times, they're just words, except for the fact that we've chosen to step more fully into them. And so this is what we have as a vision for how Unity on the Bay and each of us show up, and this is what we strive to be in the world. So with ownership, with embodiment, let's take a breath and let's speak these core values together. Diversity, generosity, gratitude, integrity, love, being spirit-led, and wisdom. Now, today's service is actually about forgiveness. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that, but it is actually National Forgiveness Day here in the United States. And can you imagine? Like, there's a full day really honoring forgiveness and the power of forgiveness. So I'm going to ask you to turn around to somebody next to you and say, I am ready to forgive. I am ready to forgive. Now to somebody else, I am ready to forgive. And one more person, I am ready to forgive. Now, just in case you're not that ready, don't worry, by the end of the service, I trust you will be, and we are already affirming it. So with that, I'm going to excitedly and just so gratefully invite our associate minister, Reverend Pam Gutierrez, to come on up. So I had written everything I wanted to share about Reverend Pam down, and Jason saw it and said, just tell them to go to the website. What I will say is that we already feel the blessing that it is to have Reverend Pam with us. I know that Unity on the Bay, we're a spiritual community that will also be blessing her as we continue to see where Spirit, God guides all of us. We're just so looking forward to the journey ahead. And something that Reverend Pam and I recognized, or she realized as we were getting to know each other, is that Unity on the Bay was actually the first Unity community that she ever stepped into back in the early 2000s. So in many ways, I'm just letting her know, welcome back home. Yes. So let's give her a round of applause. Yeah, let's welcome her to this community.
Thank you. Thank you. I am so just blessed and honored, and just my heart is so open seeing all these faces out here this morning. I'm so happy to be here. And yes, Juan, I forgive you for taking 18 months to get me here.
I think you were supposed to do the opening prayer, Pam. It made the journey even sweeter, or where we're at in the journey.
That's right. This was the let go and let God. And that was not metaphysical malpractice. And so in this spirit, getting into the way of forgiveness and opening our hearts, we will go into prayer this morning. And open hearts begins sometimes with laughter. So now let's focus into that heart space. And take a nice deep breath in and just feel solidly where you are, whether you are sitting in this room or relaxing at home. Just center yourself in the heart space and feel grounded. And now we hear the laughter of little ones in the back coming in, opening our smiles, which opens our hearts even more. And we welcome these open hearts to allow the forgiveness to flow. We bring in the divine flow through our hearts and release whatever we're holding on to that is holding us back from our good. We call on the powers of strength, wisdom, and release. And in this space of open-heartedness, we take a deep breath in and let it go with that exhale. We're grateful for this community that supports us in our spiritual growth. We're grateful for the love that we experience here at Unity on the Bay. And for this, we say, thank you, God, and so it is.
Thank you, Reverend Juan and Reverend Pam. Good morning, Unity on the Bay. Let's get on our feet and sing one of our golden oldies, Victory is Mine.
So I trust that many of you have been feeling the energy that we continue to build here at Unity on the Bay. We are growing, we're expanding, we're deepening. You know, we welcomed in Reverend Pam as a part of Unity on the Bay. As you can see, we have some new choir members, and they continue to grow, and we envision all of that growth and deepening taking place. And like I said, it's not just about growing, it's about deepening our experience of God, our experience of each other, the experience of how powerful this spiritual community is. And so I feel so blessed to be the ones to share with you some really great news and to invite you to celebrate along with me. So Lucy Leach, which many of you may know, and she's standing off the stage right now, so you can look over at her, just see if you hadn't. She has been a part of Unity on the Bay since before 2007, 2006. She has been a leader within our community. She led our Habitat for Humanity team for a few years, was part of the beautification team, was part of a prayer chaplaincy, and just has served in so many different ways. And for the last 2 years, she was really focused on deepening her own spiritual work. And she is the part of the inaugural class of Unity Worldwide Spiritual Institute's Spiritual Directions Program. Now, what that means is spiritual directions is really a process. It's an ancient practice of companionship, of supporting individuals through some of the difficulties, some of the challenges, and really holding space for them. And we're just so blessed that Lucy took that on. She was in this program for 2 years, really giving so much of her time, her efforts, and her consciousness to it. And so I would like to introduce to you and invite you to celebrate the newest graduate from the UWSI Spiritual Directions Program, our very own Lucy Leach.
Thank you. I first have to start with showing you my t-shirt. If you don't know, it's the Women's World Cup women's soccer team, because it was an utter fail at the 9 o'clock when I was like, yeah, you know, because victory's ours, and when it wasn't ours this morning, right, and we lost. But out there at the 9 o'clock, nobody knew about sports. So we have a lot of things we follow here at Unity. Sports is not one of them. So lesson learned, right? So I want to start by thanking Reverend Juan. He was actually the one responsible for me being in that spiritual director program. About 2 years ago, I went to him for guidance. I'm like, I want to go deeper. I want to learn more. And he told me about the program, and it really didn't disappoint. Today, I am more at peace with myself. I am more committed to giving back to my spiritual home. And my big takeaway from it all was really the ministry of presence, right? I think people really need to be heard, and we need to find a place for them to do that and be supported. So we're still kind of figuring out what that's going to look like, but soon I'll be able to tell you, hey, this is how I'm going to show up, because you guys are my tribe, right? So this is it. I got to do the work and then share the work, right? So thank you so much for your support. You guys have made it a safe space for me to grow, to heal, and for that I am forever blessed of our spiritual community. So thank you. And now I will read our daily word. Today's daily word is wonder. I view my life through eyes of wonder. I feel inspired watching a young child discovering new things, eyes wide open with awe and wonder. Even the smallest experiences, feeling the tickle of a butterfly on the skin or blowing the seeds of a dandelion, are a marvel and a joy. I think of this when disappointing life experiences chip away at my sense of awe and appreciation. Today, I let go of the disillusionment and open my heart and my eyes to once again live in wonder. As I view life anew, I renew my belief in the goodness of life and all of the people. I open myself to the unexpected treasures happening all around me each day. Wonder is a precious gift, one I use to appreciate the marvels unfolding before me. Today's daily word is inspired by Acts chapter 3:10. They were filled with wonder and amazement at what had happened to him. Thank you.
It's time to get ready for meditation. Please sit in a comfortable posture and remember to take deep breaths from time to time. We'll begin our meditation experience with a song. Please silence your phones. Sit in a comfortable posture and remember to take deep
going to ask you to put the tip of your tongue in the roof of your mouth. That way, when we breathe out through our mouth, the sound will be disconnects our central meridians and helps us to light up. And we're going to be breathing in normally through our nose. Breathing in through our nose and breathing out. Do it together one more time, breathing in through our nose. Breathing out through our mouth. And one more time, breathing in, breathing out. Releasing, letting go, aware of our connection to Mother Earth, aware of being at one with the One. Let's take a moment to extend blessings to our neighbors, to our family, to our friends, to everyone sitting or standing before us, to everyone watching from home, from work, or watching at their best time. As we receive the blessings from all those around us and all those watching online, in this state of blessing, we give ourselves permission to bless ourselves. We bless our toes, feet, ankles, legs, thighs, hips. If there are any body parts missing, we bless their energy field. We bless their DNA signature. Blessing our belly, our lower back, blessing our middle back, our upper back, blessing our chest, blessing our neck, blessing our scalps, blessing our face. And from this state of wholeness, we remember that in the divine we live, we move, and we have being. And we take a moment to center ourselves in our hearts as we remember and feel God's, the divine's unconditional love for each and every one of us, without judgments, just unconditionally loving. And from this space of completeness, we dare to be bold and forgive. And we allow ourselves to even accept forgiveness. Extending forgiveness to all those who may have hurt us, knowingly or unknowingly. And we accept forgiveness from those we may have hurt, unknowingly or knowingly, including ourselves. And we go into the silence as we allow ourselves to heal. And we step through in gratitude, remembering that God is everywhere present, including in all the oxygen molecules that we are breathing in. And so we acknowledge all the power, all the healing, all the presence that allows us to live in the light, as expressions of God, creating itself moment by moment. And so it is as we choose it to be.
So many things we can. I'm sorry, I have no voice. I thought I did, but I don't. You can hear my voice. So, we're going to hear the band play the song. This never happened before, but so many things we can't control. That's the lyric. So many hurts that happen every day. And there you go. Instrumental. Yeah, it's the first time in 10 years, so it happens. Sorry. We can take care of each other. Nobody really wants to fight. Nobody really wants to go to war. If everyone wants to make things right, then what are we always fighting for? How do we make it better? Oh, well, in the first verse. How do we make it through? What can we do when there's nothing we can do? We can be kind. We can take care of each other. We can remember that deep down inside, We all need the same thing. And maybe we'll find if we are there, if we're here for each other, that together we'll weather whatever tomorrow may bring. This is different. Second verse. Nobody really wants to fight. Nobody really wants to go to war. Believe it, believe it, believe it. If everyone wants to make things right, then what are we always fighting for? Does nobody want to see it? Does nobody understand? The power to heal is right here in our hands. We can be kind. We can take care of each other. And we can remember that deep, deep down inside, we all need the same thing, right? We do. And maybe, just maybe we'll find, if we are here for each other, that together we'll weather whatever tomorrow may bring, right? But it's not enough to talk about it. And if I could, it wouldn't be enough to sing a song. Because, you know, we gotta walk the walk about it, okay? You and I, do or die, we've got to try and get along. We can be kind. Yes, we can take care of each other. And we can remember that deep, 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 deep down inside, we all need the same thing. And maybe, just maybe we'll find, if we are here for each other, that together we'll weather whatever tomorrow may bring. You're amazing. And maybe we'll find, maybe, true peace of mind if we'll always remember. Say it with me. We can be kind.
Dale, you always minister with music. Today you preached. If he finds himself a joke, I'm in trouble. I love us, right? Like, I love us. Who we are, who we allow each other to be, how we are with each other is just beautiful. I'm like, should there be a segue to my joke or just go right into it? So a man buys a parrot and brings the parrot home. It's one of those talking parrots, and he thinks he's gonna get like all these sweet little things like Polly want a cracker and all that stuff. And instead, all of a sudden, that parrot begins to insult him. Starts saying all these profanities, and so the man gets really upset and doesn't know what to do, and he just has this thought and just puts it in the freezer for a few seconds just to teach it a lesson. And inside the freezer, you can hear the parrot is just like squealing and squawking and whatever parrots do and screaming. And then all of a sudden, there's just this peaceful silence. So the man got a little nervous, actually, and went to open the freezer door, and out comes the talking parrot and says, I apologize for offending you, and I humbly ask for your forgiveness, sir. And the man says, well, thank you, and you're forgiven. And the parrot just, sighs some relief and then just says, if you don't mind me asking, what did the chicken do to you? I know. All right, forgiveness. So much to forgive today, huh? Say it with me, I am ready to forgive. Well, it's so funny because, when we were thinking about themes, I chose it because I realized that today was National Forgiveness Day, and I didn't even know there was such a thing, and I thought it'd be so powerful for us to join so many others who hopefully do know that it's National Forgiveness Day and be in that energy and be in that practice this week. And then when we got closer to today, I thought, oh my gosh, we just went through these 3 weeks of enthusiasm and zeal and high energy, and now we're going to talk about forgiveness. And it was that internal wah, wah, right? But the reality is and I started remembering one of my favorite prosperity teachers, and actually just spiritual teachers, Maria Namath, talks about not only how we can harness the energy, which we have been doing, but to recognize that throughout our life and in the different ways in which we show up or experience things, that there are energy leaks. And so no matter how much we build up the energy, if we don't take care of the energy leaks, those little holes, right, in the tire that just little by little, you start noticing that the tire becomes a little bit more flat. No matter how much air you pump into that tire, if the leak is still there, you're going to start feeling that energy drop, right? And so things that we don't forgive, resentments that we hold on to, judgments that we don't heal from, those are energy zappers. And so, yes, actually, how perfect that as we have been building our opportunity, or actually the potential, stepping into the potential of greater energy and enthusiasm in our life, that we're also taking care of the leaks. So that as we build up, we can continue to be at that high level of vibration. Because really, resentment is low level vibration, right? It keeps us stuck in the past. And what have we been doing? We've been talking about who we are in the present, how we show up in the present, and what kind of future we want to build for ourselves. So enough about holding on to the past and the challenges and issues that we may have experienced in the past. Really, forgiveness work is one of the quickest ways for us to really begin to vibrate and continue to vibrate at a high energy. And I was listening to a podcast a few days ago. It's from the founder of Mind Valley. Some of you may know the website and the programs that they have. His name is Vishen Lakhiani. And he was sharing that he was invited to go try out this new meditation system that somebody had created. It was a machine that helped you produce the same brain waves as that of monks that had been meditating and praying and working on their enlightenment for 20 or 30 years. What these researchers and scientists did is they took a look at the brain waves that these monks had when they were in the process of meditation, and then they tried to figure out ways of reproducing that in people. And so they invited him to try it out, and he got, under the machine and got all plugged in, and he started working with it. And to his amazement, what they told him is, you just don't sit there and just allow it. What you must do is actually do forgiveness work. That's what these scientists and researchers realized would get us to vibrate and have that same brain wave energy as the monks that had been seeking that enlightenment through prayer and meditation for decades. Now, maybe some of you already feel very enlightened. I have those moments too. But Ram Dass, one of my favorites, says, if you think you're enlightened, go home for Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is going to be here quicker than you think, everyone. right? But, if you're enlightened, look at the places where you're triggered, is what he's saying. How are you able to be in the presence of things that may be triggering or may remind you of things that in the past may have triggered you? Now, how many of you know that there is someone or something that you can forgive right now? That you're being asked to forgive? For those of you who may not be sure, check your pulse right now. If you have one, I bet there is something or someone to forgive. It's part of the human experience. In my view, it's part of the human experience. It's part of our evolutionary work. It is how we get to continue to evolve and step into a greater sense of our truth. And maybe, just maybe, as we uncover and become more honest with ourselves about the releasing and letting go of certain judgments and resentments that we may have towards other people or even to ourselves, we can continue to go deeper into the full essence of who we are. I'm somebody that I'm here to tell you, I feel like I'm like at a meeting and I should just say, like, my name is Juan and I have forgiveness work to do. And I didn't realize just the level of forgiveness work that I had to do until this week. But sure enough, everything shows up in the perfect and right time for us to heal. Now, Charles Fillmore says this about forgiveness. He says, forgiveness is a process of giving up the false for the true. Forgiveness means the giving up of something. And so the question that I think it begs is, what are we clinging to when we have our resentments? What are we clinging to when we are unwilling to forgive someone for something that they may have done to us or we may have perceived they did to us? And these are individuals that could be in our immediate family, in our communities, or even people that we watch on the news. Like when Lucy said we didn't win today I was like, oh, what else is on the news today, right? Like that's what came to my mind, right? And so there's forgiveness work for me to do there. But what are we holding on to? What false sense of control about the way other people should live and be are we needing to let go of? What sense of separation are we being invited to heal from? And I really believe that if we're honest with ourselves, we will find that there are, like the onion, right? Like there are deeper and deeper things that we can uncover and do some of this work with. One of the things about resentment that I came to find out is that it actually comes from the Latin to re-feel. So to feel once again. And it made so much sense because as we know in unity, right, like when we are holding on to the way that somebody hurt us and we hold on to resentment, we continually hurt ourselves. We remind ourselves of the hurt, we remind ourselves of the pain, and we are able to move on from that. When we think somebody cheated us and we hold on with resentment, are we not cheating ourselves over and over and over again from living a life that is liberated, free, and fully able to express the divinity that is within us? And so when I'm holding on to somebody past hurt of me, and I continue to do it, the question is, who's really hurting who? And how can I begin to heal myself, to heal that which needs to be healed, so that I can step into heaven here on earth? We've all heard it before, many of us have heard it before. Unforgiveness is like drinking poison and expecting someone else to die. Now, what I want to share with you, it's not Thanksgiving, but it was close enough to it. Many of you know that I was, and by the way, the story's going to feel a little different because I see my husband Tom's now in the here, present, and he was a presence to what took place. But many of you know that I went to Spain for a couple of weeks, and it was this beautiful family vacation, and my mom asked to go with us. And I love my mom. I know my mom loves me. I know that we have, in many ways, a really wonderful relationship, but she triggers me. You know what that can feel like, right? You know there is love. You want there to be like this blessed vacation, enjoying ourselves throughout the whole thing, but you're already knowing that there may be something that will trigger you and you're already trying to figure out what that is and trying to heal it before it even begins, and sometimes it doesn't happen that way. Well, I should have known that taking a 5-hour drive from Madrid to Cuenca in a small car may not have been the best. But here we were, right? And all of a sudden, my mom says something that really bothered me, that I didn't let go of, that triggered me, and I reacted and responded in a way that I knew didn't have to be the way. Actually, Tom kept reminding me, this doesn't have to be the way you react. I was like, yes, it is, because she's wrong. But so in this conversation, or in this issue that we had, my mom just said something that I didn't believe to be true, and that it was a revisionist history of our relationship. Many of you know that my coming out process was a process, and there were a lot of peaks and valleys, and when I was 18 or 19, there was maybe about 5 different times where my parents just kicked me out of the house. And I remember like getting on my knees and crying and begging not to be kicked out. My mom doesn't remember that, right? Like for her, it's not possible to admit that. And when I step back from it, especially this week as I've been sitting with it, I realize she loves me so much that it hurts her to know that she didn't show up the way she wanted to for me. But that's when I take a step back. That's when I'm at a place where I want to forgive. I want to heal. And it wasn't that way in the car, as I made sure that she knew how upsetting it was that she was doing what she was doing. And it just became ugly. I realized that it became ugly. And I've been sitting there and I'm thinking, was it worth it? Was it worth it to be that ugly? Was it worth it for me to try to let her know how much it triggered me and bothered me, and letting her, you know, it's almost like, now I'm even thinking about it, it's like I was upset that she was revising history, but here I am making sure that she revises the history that she wants to remember or can remember in that moment. And I really like sit with the fact that as I was feeling dishonored, man, I was dishonoring the truth of who I was. I came here to be an expression of love. I came here to show God's grace and peace. And here, when I thought she was dishonoring me, I was dishonoring myself. In those moments where I didn't feel acknowledged by her, God, I wasn't acknowledging the power that was within me to heal. I wasn't acknowledging the power that was within me to see it from her perspective, or just allow her to have her own experience and trust and know my experience and be able to stand firm in the truth of who I was. In those moments where I was so upset that she was forgetting certain things, who was forgetting the most important thing? Me. I wasn't showing up the way I wanted to. I wasn't being as loving as I could be. And I wasn't allowing myself to just simply let it go. I became what I was most upset about. And I really believe that if we look at the ways in which there are experiences that need our forgiveness, or resentments that we need to let go of, that we realize that no one can do anything to us that we haven't done to ourselves. And actually, no one can do to us what we aren't currently doing to ourselves. And to me, recognizing that is so powerful, because it opens us up to empathy, it opens us up to compassion, it opens us up to vulnerability, and most importantly, it opens us up to recognizing the journey that we are on to express our divine selves and to really step into embodying the Christ nature that is within us. And by forgiving other individuals, what we're really doing is we are trusting the power of God through forgiveness. And the moments that we do that, we all of a sudden make it easier for us to do the self-forgiveness work. As we see other people in their truth, regardless of how they show up, it becomes easier for us to see ourselves in our truth, even regardless the way that we show up. And so here I was upset with my mother, and the reality is that I was really upset most with myself, because I wasn't allowing myself to fully move on and be in the grace of God. Now, Neil Donald Walsh reminds us that this is from Conversations with God. And so in a conversation that God is inspiring in him, he says that God said, I have sent you nothing but angels. Every person that enters your life is a fellow angel there to teach you something. So there is work for me to do there. Now, interesting enough, I was also watching Edwene Gaines, one of my other favorite prosperity teachers, and she talks about forgiveness actually being one of the tools that we can use for a greater understanding of abundance and prosperity, a manifestation of it in our lives. And it's just so funny because, well, first of all, she and Charles Fillmore in the book Prosperity, they talk about there's a difference between being in debt and being and having using credit wisely. And they say that if there is debt that feels burdensome in your life, it's really a manifestation of the forgiveness work and the resentments that you are holding in. Because as you are holding other people in your debt grows. And it's just so interesting because a couple of days ago, I was looking at, I make all of my payments at the beginning of the month and everything. It was like, oh, there's a little more debt in there than I realized. Now, there's nothing to worry about, all good, but it was something that I realized, and now that I'm putting it all together, it's all just showing up for me to say, actually, I can be liberated from this. I can liberate myself and others from the debts that I'm holding on to. And in the powerful way that I can release them and myself from it, I can liberate myself to truly living abundance, prosperity, wholeness, all the things that we always talk about we want to experience in the present and in the future by letting go of the past that may not have shown up in that way. Edwene Gaines says, if we refuse to forgive, we are clinging to self-defeating feelings such as guilt, shame, blame, hurt, and resentment. And when we do this, we cannot feel truly worthy of having the best God can give us. We cannot and will not accept God's gift. We close ourselves off to receiving because we are closing ourselves off to giving of our true nature, which is love, forgiveness, and release and letting go. And for me, it's a matter of recognizing that God is love and that in God there is nothing to forgive. And so then in my own Christhood, in my own divinity, there also is nothing to forgive, and yet I'm having these experiences. So the way for me to move into and move back into my true self is by doing this work, is by releasing and letting go of resentments. And so what are some of the ways in which we can do it? I've recognized that for me, what works is a couple of things. And I'm laughing because as I'm sharing, I'm like, it works because it hits me in the face and it makes me be honest. For me, the process of forgiveness, true forgiveness, takes 3 steps. One is to be vulnerable. The second one is to open our hearts. And the third one is to take concrete steps to show ourselves that we have done the forgiveness. Now, here's the thing with being vulnerable. We have to be willing to tell the truth. And we have to be willing to tell the truth, and there are so many different traps that we can fall into when we're looking at things that we need to forgive or let go of. How many of you have let go, let God? Let go, let God. There's forgiveness work to do. Let go, let God. Let go, let God. No, I let go, let God. Don't trigger me. I let go and I let God. Don't trigger me, I said. Let go and let God. And so maybe we're just using that let go, let God as that spiritual bypassing to not actually do the work that it takes to forgive, the work that it takes to go deeper into the essence of our being and connect with others from that deepest essence and understanding of our truth. The other piece of the vulnerability part is to be honest with ourselves about what we're really talking about. With Tom, I was saying, no, I've forgiven the fact that they threw me out of the house all those times. I've forgiven that. I just can't stand when they don't acknowledge it. I've been sitting that with this week. And if I really forgave it, does it matter for anyone to acknowledge it? And so all of a sudden I see Tom, he's like, I was right about that one, Juan. I'm working on it, Tom. But all of a sudden it's like, wow, like I was pretending that the forgiveness work was about something else because I was so scared or nervous about going deeper into it. And now I have the opportunity because now I see, now I am more willing to do the work. And the beautiful thing about being vulnerable is that the moment that we're vulnerable, it automatically opens up our heart. And the moment that we open up our hearts is an opportunity for us to ask some really important questions. So now that we're in the heart space and we want to step into an understanding heart, how can I understand this experience differently? Hurt people. What else is there? They did the best that they could. I'm doing the best that I can as a parent to 10-year-old Lucas, right? And so all of a sudden, like maybe there's a different story that we get to tell about the actual experience, right? Like the story of, she loves me so much that it hurts her to think that she didn't show up the way that she would have and the way that she shows up now, because she shows up for our family in beautiful ways, right? And so all of a sudden I can have that understanding heart that provides empathy, that provides compassion, that provides connection, and that heals that sense of separation. I can ask, how is this person an angel to me? What would it look like if anytime we're triggered or anytime something comes up, rather than reacting negatively to it, we ask ourselves, how is this an angel in my journey of evolution? How is this an angel in my journey of deepening my understanding of the truth of my very being? And then when that story gets retold in a different way and you come to understand it from a different vantage point, then we can ask ourselves, what's the action step that I can take to solidify my faith and trust in the work that I've just done? And so what are the ways in which that forgiveness action step can show up? And there are so many different ways. It's almost like putting that exclamation point at the end of the forgiveness work to go into some sort of action. It fortifies our resolve in the power of releasing. And so for some of us, it may look like calling that individual and letting them know that you're there to talk it through, to speak your truth, to share what it was that hurt you, to share what it was that you understood, to share where you're at with it, and to do the forgiveness work and the reconnecting. It also doesn't have to involve the other person, right? Because this is an inside job. This is inner work. And so there may be individuals that you need to create better boundaries with. That's not what I'm saying with forgiveness work is not everybody gets to come to the party, right? And we can recognize the way in which we show up ourselves to the party. And so maybe you write a letter to that person, you write it all out, but then you burn it, you know? And that way you're able to like just move through the process. Now, the process that I want to share with you and that I'm going to invite you into this week is one from Edwin Gaines. So it's based on that story where Jesus is asked how often you should forgive somebody. And the answer is 70 times 7. 70 times 7. In unity, 7 is the number of completion. Anytime that it's multiplied by 10, it means like to the nth power. So what that tells me is, how many times do we have to forgive each other? All the time. All the time, moment by moment. It is a work of a lifetime to be able to release the resentments and be able to move into closer connection and understanding of our truth. And so this week, what I'm asking you to do is, think of one person that you have to forgive or that you're invited to forgive. And in the mornings, right, I forgive so-and-so for so-and-so 35 times in the morning, 35 times in the evening. That is 70 times that you're writing it, and you do this for 7 days. You got that? So 35 in the morning, 35 at night for 7 days. You're with me on this one? On National Forgiveness Day, imagine the energy and the uplift and the raising of the vibration that we can experience, but that also we invite other people to experience when we do this work. Charles and Myrtle Fillmore were so intent on forgiveness work as part of their own healing of what was taking place within them. They would go to bed at night, every night, and ask themselves this one question: who have I kept from my heart this day? Who have I not allowed in my heart this day? And the follow-up is, how can I invite them in now? And that is what I invite all of us into, so that we can vibrate at a higher level, so that we don't have any more energy leaks, and so that we can stop the system of oppression and of blame and guilt and shame that when we believe for others, we believe for ourselves. And the way that we liberate others from it is the way that we liberate ourselves from it, and we're able to live into our truth. We're able to create heaven on earth, not only for ourselves, but for them, for the community, and for the world. It is all a work of releasing that which doesn't serve us and stepping into what does. Namaste. Let's have a very forgiving week.
Of course it is, right? No, I'm just usually that loud. Am I the only one who related to Juan's story about his mom triggering him? Okay, if you're sitting with your mom, you might not want to agree right now. I'm just saying. John, I'm talking to you, right? No, I was like, wow, your mom triggers you too? Thank you so much, Reverend Juan, for being vulnerable, for being you. Simply you, right? And during his message, it came up of someone that I need to forgive. And unfortunately, the first thing I thought of was, do you want to be happy or do you want to be right? Right? And I'm the first one to go, how happy are we talking though? It is now time for our gratitude opportunity. We believe in the spiritual law of giving and receiving here at Unity on the Bay, and now is your opportunity to give in gratitude. We encourage you to go green by texting GIVE, that's G-I-V-E, to 1-833-245-5645. Folks at home, that information's on your screen. Folks in-house, that information's behind me, but also we have our incredible ushers walking around with envelopes if you would just like to give that way. Please raise your hand and we will have one of the ushers hook you up with one of the envelopes. If you do want to set up that thing on your phone, ask any of the staff members or even me after service and we can help you with that. It makes life a lot easier. And it's also going green, so we're protecting a tree, right? Yeah, keep your hands raised, please. And I'm going to give you a couple of seconds in silence to prepare your gift. We thank you for your gifts this morning. You can put your hand to your heart or your gift to your heart, whatever you're comfortable with, and we will bless together. Divine love that I am blesses all that I give and all that I receive. Now is our chance to bless the incredible children in their own time of inspiration and learning in the kids zone right back there with the most patient human on earth, Mr. Raul. So let's get our hands together to bless the incredible children. Yes, children, we love you. We bless you. We appreciate you. We behold the Christ in you, and we see you doing great things. I love those children. Prayer chaplains, I'm looking for you. Come on up, okay? If something came up during service and you don't want to go home with it, guess what? You don't have to. Grab one of the incredible prayer chaplains. They are trained to do this. Sit with them for a couple of minutes after service. Russell's here. Miss Carmen is here. We've got all the incredible prayer chaplains ready to be of service. Please, please, please grab one of them. Reverend Juan, come on up and let us know what's our call to action. What do we have to do? 70 times 70 times 35 times 5.
Hopefully you're better at math. So here's the homework for today, the growth work as we call it here at Unity on the Bay. The growth work is to do the 70 times 7 this week, and let's check in next week about how that went. Now there's additional homework for you this week, so I want you all to bring out your cell phones and take a picture of the slide that I am trusting and having faith is right behind me. It is good, and it's that slide about the angels. Take a picture of it. Now, I know I'm watching, by the way. We're gonna say it right here until no.
Can we be in the picture?
Sure. Okay, so this picture. Last week I invited you to think about 3 individuals that you feel would really be benefited by Unity and what we teach and what we are about. And I asked you just to hold them in prayer. This week, I'm inviting you to send them that graphic in gratitude for them being angels in your life. Got that?
Got it.
Now, next week, there's one final homework if you choose to take it. Next week, we're going to have a lot of fun. the whole service is actually focused, it's inspired by the movie Trolls. Anybody watch that movie? The music is gonna be from that movie. The kids are gonna be with us. There's a whole lot of extra hair that got at my house from Amazon. And so if you haven't watched the movie, I'm inviting you to watch the movie this week so that when you come, you don't have to, but it'd be really fun if you do. And if you have families with kids, invite them to come. It's gonna be a very intergenerational Sunday for us, and it's gonna be a whole lot of fun. Hair up, chin up. Some of you got that from the song. All right, with that, let's stand so that we can say our prayer for protection, and we'll follow that with our peace song. And so together, let us affirm. The light of God surrounds us. We are light. The love of God enfolds us. We are love. The power of God protects us. We are power. The presence of watches over us. We are presence. Wherever we are, God is and all is well. We are divine.